Danny Segura for MMAJunkie.com. I'm here in Hollywood, Florida at the PFL playoffs. I'm here with Claressa Shields, Olympian boxing world champion, now MMA fighter. Claressa, first of all, before we talk about your future, what comes up, because you have a fight booked, um, looking back at your debut in June, how do you feel about it? Are you content with what you were able to do?
No, I'm happy that I was able to get the win, but I'm not content with my performance. I think that there were a lot of holes in my game, which I expected that, but I really want to get better on the ground game, get better at my wrestling, and just get more comfortable with letting my hands go inside the cage. So that's my goal for the next fight: to go out there, start early, let my hands go, make sure I do what I know how to do, and just work the ground game more because I showed that I was knowledgeable and that I could stay calm, but I want to keep learning and get better.
Yeah, no doubt. So you obviously got the hands. That's not in question. But the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, how difficult has it been to adapt to that? Because obviously, very different than boxing.
The wrestling has actually been one of the easiest things for me to adapt to. The jujitsu is like rocket science. Well, it was, but I have a great coach and coach Tusa, and he made the rocket science be like regular science for me, so it's not as hard. But it's just different because it's on the ground, and I'm used to everything standing up.
Yeah. And you're returning on October 27 at the PFL playoff finals. My bad. Here in Hollywood, Florida, you're facing Abigail Montes. Um, where have you done this camp? Are you still doing things at Jackson Winks, or how are your preparations for this second bout?
I go Jackson Wings next week, but I stay in contact with my coaches, so they send me stuff to do, every day. Rather it's kicking, rather it's doing some shrimps, rather it's doing, bridges, rather it's working on my sprawling. They always send me notes and things to do. So I do that when I'm at home because I need that time at home to just spend time with my family. But I'm always training, always in the gym, and always getting stronger physically and just getting those smaller muscles stronger that I need to be stronger for MMA. So I've been still training, but I'm ready to get back to Jackson Wink and spend the next 8 weeks there to get ready for October 27th.
Yeah, for sure. And in this second bout in the PFL finals, what are your goals apart from winning? Like, what else are you trying to achieve in that fight?
I think that's too much to asking me. Like I think right now, in order for me to go out there and win, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. So the main goal is to win, no matter whether it looks good, whether it looks ugly, whether it looks rough or tough, or whether it's easy. Just go out there and win. So I'm not expecting anything from me but just to win, no matter how it comes. Whether I get like some ugly choke, or I get some more ground and pound, or I knock a girl out standing up. However it comes, I just want to get the win. So, or if we have to go, 3 5 minutes of war, I'm ready for whatever.
Is that in the bucket list at some point? Get a submission win?
Yeah, it's on the list, but it's not something that if I don't get it, I'm gonna be like, oh, bummer. It's like to me, a knockout, a TKO, just a regular W. I don't want to have any split decisions though. I don't want to have any close fights, but I want to go out there and have an action-packed fight every fight. I want to go out there and show that I'm here to win and that I'm not gonna like lay down for nobody. So that's my main thing, just making it tough for any of those girls. Like no matter what their background is, like whether she got a black belt in jiu-jitsu or not. My goal is to go out there and let her know this is not going to be an easy task for you. Like you in here with a different animal, and if you want to beat me, it's going to be a rough night for both of us.
Certainly, no doubt. And I know you're new. Obviously, you're just coming off your debut in mixed martial arts. But how do you see yourself as far as like the journey? How long do you think it'll be until we see you in an actual tournament and not in individual bouts?
Um, I'm letting my team decide that. I mean, my only job right now is just to train, get better, and when I'm not doing MMA, I'll have my boxing fights. But in between time, I'm always going to be working something with MMA, and I want to get very very strong on the ground with wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I want to get really really strong in my striking as far as in my boxing and my kickboxing, and I want to mix everything together, and just to where I'm like a complete fighter. So when I do make that transition to the PFL league to the tournament, I'm not I don't have to worry about any girl. Like yeah, there'll be tough girls to compete against, but I don't want to be like, oh, if she knows ground game, oh, she's going to beat me, or if she knows kickboxing better, oh, she's going to kick me, and I don't know what to do. Like I want to know what to do. So I want to get knowledgeable up in all those things, and then just kind of work from there. But Depends on, maybe it's next year, maybe it's the year after that. But I believe that next year is possible, but I know for sure the year after that I'll definitely be in the PFL tournament and I'll be ready. But if my coaches say that I'm ready next year after doing all my training, for the October fight and then doing my training like next year leading up to the PFL tournament, if they say, hey, you're ready, I'll take their word and I'll be in the tournament next year. But they say, oh, we want to work on a few more things, I'll also trust them on that too.
Well, definitely looking forward to that, whether it's next year or the following year. A couple more questions. You said that you wanted to continue boxing, obviously, alongside your mixed martial arts career. A lot of people, including Kayla Harrison, who's fighting tonight at PFL, said that might be a little tough, obviously in a very respectful manner, but just saying, two different sports, it's maybe best to focus on one. Why do you want to do both boxing and mixed martial arts?
Because I'm the greatest, that's why. And it would be, boxing is never going to be hard for me. Let's just put it out there. I've been boxing for 15 years. I'm a two-time Olympic gold medalist. Not two-time Olympian, two-time Olympic gold medalist. And I fought against every kind of style you can fight against, and I've beaten them all. I'm a 12-time world champion in boxing, 3-time division, 2-time undisputed. Like, it goes on and on. But all I need is 4 weeks to get ready for boxing. MMA, on the other hand, I would need more time to get ready. So the main thing is just focusing on one fight at a time.
Yeah.
That's it. One fight at a time, and just kind of just going from there. But I don't think it's going to be hard, and only the greats can do it. If Kayla wanted to do MMA, matches and now also do judo matches, it'd be possible because she's got so much background in judo. So it's possible. It's all about your mindset and how you do it, but you definitely got to keep one thing at a time as like your focus. So my focus right now is my next fight, which is MMA. After MMA, my next fight is in boxing, so I'll focus on boxing, and that's how I'll do it. But it's not going to be easy. But being a 12-time world champion is not easy either. But I'm it.
Yeah, certainly. And last question: has this experience in mixed martial arts been maybe humbling? As you mentioned, you got all the accolades in boxing, right? And not that you're an arrogant person; you're very humble. But obviously, going into a completely new, different combat sport, starting from scratch, has it been humbling in any way, or does it take you back to sort of like the rookie days, something that it's way behind you now in boxing?
I've always been like a person who wanted to learn, and I respect people's crafts. So coming in MMA, it wasn't a decision I made overnight. It was like something I really needed and wanted to think about. And I thought about it for months before I signed the contract to actually do it. So I was already kind of humbled, and I was already kind of like going into MMA with like no ego, no I kind of left all my accomplishments in boxing and I just came to MMA with like nothing. So it was a scary transition, and it was a risky transition, but I did it because I wanted to prove to myself that I am the greatest woman of all time, that I can do boxing, I can do great at MMA as long as I train and fight the fighters who are in my caliber. But once it gets to, the PFL league, I want to prove that I can be the PFL champion. So I just kind of started from scratch, but I was already humbled, and I've been just humbled by everybody who's helped me, to see how Holly Holm comes to the gym and train with me, Arlene Blanco, Kayla, not Kayla Harrison, but it's another Kayla at our gym, and to see how everybody is just, even Conor McGregor and Johnny Bones, like everybody just reaches out and give me knowledge and come train with me. It's been very great for me, and it's been I've never had as many doubters before. In boxing, everybody knows that I'll win, but in MMA, they're like, oh, she could possibly lose, which brings more eyes or whatever, but it also brings a lot of new fans, and people really respect me more for even making the transition and not just talking about it. So I was already humble, and I respect all the MMA fighters, and I wouldn't be me if I said I didn't want to fight the best. Like, I want to get good enough to where when I fight the best, I'm able to beat them. I'm able to at least compete, So it's nothing wrong with, like, having a big picture being, like, fighting against Kayla Harrison down the line in the future, rather it's 2 or 3 years, or, fighting against an Amanda Nunes in 4 to 5 years. Like, that's not anything that people should look down on me for. It's like when you're the best and you starting at the bottom of a new sport, you want to be the best. All I can do is train, and hopefully that I can get to those girls' level. But that's how you get there. You you respect those girls' craft, and you work your ass off, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're in the cage with them, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is what we work for, you know. So, respect to those champions, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep my head down, keep training, and don't let all the lights go to my head, because I don't know why I was the main event on the PFL for my MMA debut, but I would have really chosen not to.
Yeah, one step at a time. But certainly you did great. You killed it. You obviously were successful in your debut.
Okay. I did okay. I didn't do great. I'm a realist. I lost the first 2 rounds, kinda. She didn't really get any punches on me or anything, but she held me on the ground for a long time. And I was able to get up a few times, but I made a lot of mistakes. And really, what won me to fight was just the 3rd round, going in there and just getting it. You know, believing that my right hand can do action, which I did. I needed to land it. And when I landed it, that's when we seen how everything unraveled. It took a minute and 30 seconds of me punching, and then the fight was over. So I feel like if I did that first round, the fight would have been over first round. But you know, Brittany came out there and used my inexperience against me. So it wasn't a great fight for me, but it was a great finish. That's what I would say. That's why I won the most. I won the best finish for the night. So, so all the fans that voted for me, thank you guys, because that was $5,000.
A finish in your debut, that's great.
Yep.
Looking forward to the second fight here at PFL on October 27th. Thank you very much for the time, and best of luck.
Yep, thank you.